8 months ago, me and my wife separated, and I went into the darkest period of my life. And I'm just coming out of that now. Life's getting better, and I wanted to share with you where I've been, what my experiences have been, what I've learned, and where I'm going now. Bit of background: me and my wife had been together for 10 years, married for nearly 7. We have a 3-year-old daughter. I've made videos before about the reasons why the separation came about. Fundamentally, we're not compatible. Divorce hits men really hard. Much harder, I'd say, on average than women. And there's a few reasons that I can see for that. Firstly, most divorces are instigated or started by women. For whatever reason, there may be very valid reasons for those. Maybe he's cheated, maybe he was abusive, etc., etc. I didn't do any of that, by the way. But for whatever reason, the woman, in about 90% of cases, instigates the divorce, which means for a lot of guys, you feel like it's been done to you. You feel like she has all the control, she's made this choice, you don't want it to happen, and now you're in a position where this is being done to you, your family's been taken away. And it's easy to feel that you're not in control. You're not in control of your life's dismantling around you, and there's basically nothing you can do about it. Suicide is apparently 9 times higher in divorced men than divorced women. And again, probably different factors for that. Maybe it's just because it's more likely in guys anyway. Maybe it's because of the external locus of control. You feel like it's been done to you. Maybe, those personality factors that lead people to do that, maybe that was in some cases part of the reason why she lost respect for you. I'm not judging anyone. I'm not, saying anything other than I'm trying to find patterns and I'm trying to find, meaning behind all of this. Another factor in why it hit me so hard is my parents divorced when I was 12. Now, I didn't realise how much that affected me until I was in my 30s, did some counselling, and I realised that, the separation from my father not being around, really kind of affected me more than I thought. And I never, ever wanted that to happen to my family. So I definitely felt like a failure when my family as I knew it was coming to an end. And I felt like I failed my daughter, failed as a husband, and all of that just piles on top of each other and basically makes you feel awful. Now, I have to be honest, my self-care went pretty much out the window. I made a video just before we moved out where I talked about, things that I found help while you're going through this process. Now, self-care was one of them, and I completely agree, it absolutely is. But I have to admit, I didn't always practice it. I was definitely drinking too much, got out the exercise habit, wasn't sleeping properly, just snacking instead of, eating consistently. All the things, basically the opposite of what we know helps you feel better. Probably could have tried harder on that, but I have to admit at the time, you feel so much like you're in crisis mode that you just want to do anything to make you feel better at the time, and that's just where I was. I have to admit, I think the gym saved me. It gives you something to work towards. It makes you feel physically stronger, and I think it stops your body breaking down. I really think lifting heavy weights and doing a bit of cardio just makes you a lot more physically resilient. Even if you're not looking after yourself in every other way, which of course you should, then it definitely helps you to just kind of withstand the other stresses in life. What I found when we first separated for the first couple of months was that your world really shrinks. And again, this is about going into kind of crisis panic mode again. So, people would say to me, try to think for the future. I can't see beyond today, the next few hours getting off the couch. Sometimes it's like that. So it's hard to make a life plan when you can't see beyond how you're going to get through today. And that's absolutely fine. And I think as long as you're vaguely looking after yourself, like remembering to eat and that kind of thing, then, one day at a time, sometimes it's just the way to go. I was renting a room with a flatmate for a couple of months before I moved into my place, which I bought. He opened up to me at some point and said, I've had friends who have killed themselves and I am really concerned about you. And I could see that it was worrying him, and I didn't want to put that on him. Now, I wouldn't kill myself because of my daughter, and I don't think I'm that type anyway. But I can totally see how people can go there. I can totally see how, your world falls apart and you don't know what to do. I can see how people would get to that point. In fact, I did have a mini nervous breakdown. So this is just after I found out that my wife had a new partner, and it was just the final straw, and it broke me. For the next couple of days, I think you might call it a nervous breakdown. I found it really hard to talk. I couldn't say more than 2 or 3 words at a time. I think even my walking was very jerky. And after a few hours of this, I could talk a bit better. I phoned the NHS Direct, which in the UK is, you can phone them, they give you medical advice. And they got a doctor to call me, who I spoke to, and he said, look, I don't want to put you on antidepressants straight away, but you need to be able to sleep. So I want you to drink less and get these sleeping tablets, and call me in a week if it's still going on. I'll tell you what, those helped a lot. It didn't solve the problem, but it kind of got me through that immediate crisis. And yeah, just thought I'd share that with you. So what helped? Getting the flat together and making it beautiful, which I'll show you actually quickly. So this is my bachelor pad. So I've got my Eames lounge chair there, got my Chesterfield. It's my favourite painting ever. Jones the Skeleton, I got him at uni about 22 years ago. That's my little kitchen. Watching this place come together it's like a microcosm of me. I was watching myself come together and building the little bits at a time. And it took a while actually, because the decorator was really unreliable. But the pro side of that is, if it all happened in one go, I don't think I'd get the same pleasure from it. I don't think I'd get the same kind of sense of like building something one thing at a time. Like I get so much, even that little light switch over there that's like, I can't think you can see it, it's a little brass light switch. When that went on, I was like, oh yeah, great light switch. Silly little details like this just gave me something to focus on. Socializing. Now, I didn't feel like socializing, but some of my friends dragged me out. Some of them came around, and I wasn't really in the mood, but it definitely did help. It took a while actually before I could really relax socially and have a good time, because I was in just such a negative state most of the time. But what they also did is help me with my daughter. Throughout this time, by the way, every other weekend and a couple of days a week, I'd look after my daughter. And to be honest, a lot of the time I put Peppa Pig on, and we ate snacks, and we'd go for a walk, go to the playground for an hour, and not much more than that. But I did try to make an effort, but it was a real struggle. So having friends who had children really, really helped as well, because first of all, they know what it's like to have kids, but also, she had other friends to play with, they had toys to play with, and it was just nice to have support like that. Something else that helped was sleeping with a couple of girls. Eventually I started meeting people. Yeah, I won't go into detail, but that definitely kind of helps to snap you out a bit. Anyway, my best friend, bless him, did try to be helpful, and I wasn't sure whether to talk about this or not, but he gave me very practical and direct advice, which I think was good advice, but it's not what I felt like I needed or wanted at the time. He'd say, right, you're in a bad place. What you need to do is stop drinking, get some counselling, get on some dating apps. Like, great, really, really good. At the time though, I felt like I just wanted someone to give me a hug. I felt like I wanted, just to know that somebody was there. I totally get where he was coming from, but it made me really think about what people need when they're going through, trauma and a crisis. What do they need? I think it's a combination of both of those. I think it's a combination of to know someone cares and is going to give you some time, and also some practical advice and a bit of a kick in the arse sometimes. And here I am now. So making this video is a really important step for me, because I've been putting off making content for months. So making this video, I kind of made myself do it today to kickstart being more outgoing and sharing and not hiding, which was what I kind of recognized I was doing, in drinking, not going out, just being really negative, insular. It's easy to get into the habit and the pattern of just hiding in your shell. But sometimes when you make yourself get out of it, you just feel better. You just feel better. So from now on, I'm going to be making more content on how I'm building my life, a bit more reflecting on things, things that have helped. because I know I'm not the only person that's been through this, and I hope that some of the things I'm saying, some of the things I'm sharing, might help other people. Yeah, please let me know if any of this resonates, and I hope to see you soon.